We wish to acknowledge and pay respects to the traditional custodians of the land upon which we meet. This is the land of the Ghana people. We would also like to acknowledge and pay respects to elders of the land, both past and present. So just a heads up, this is very degree specific, and we did have a bunch of people sign up for this session who weren't in VEED. I recommend if you're not in VEED, go watch Cat Dog or something. This is extremely degree specific. The work on the slides is from VEED students. First off, congratulations, you made it in. This is, again, a really, really different degree. You're gonna find you move a lot between campuses. You're gonna have half your topics here, half of them will be at CDW studios. And when we look at your template, you'll see you've got a little bit of flexibility, so you can do a bit more CDW or a bit less CDW, but it's gonna be roughly 50-50. There are some models to it, so it'll make more sense once I've explained it all in terms of how it works.
And just, sorry, Shane chiming in here. For the folks online, if you've got any questions, you can type them into the questions area in the Q&A, and I'll be moderating. That's what I'll be typing away here, not just ignoring Katie's presentation.
Yeah, so I'm Katie Kavanagh. I'm the degree coordinator. So any questions that you have, any issues that you have, if you feel like you're being harassed, if something's happening that you're not sure about, I'm your first port of call, and I can kind of answer questions in terms of topic content. Annie is really good at advising you about your template, but I know what's in all the topics. So I've had students in the past call me uni mom. I find that kind of a funny description, but if you're not sure who to go to about something, come to me and I can steer you to the right person. If I'm the problem, go to Shane, right? Shane Bevan is also...
You need to
yeah. Also a VEED lecturer. So you'll have the two of us quite a bit when you're on this campus. And just out of interest, are you mostly 2D, 3D?
2D.
2D?
2D.
2D? 3D? VFX? 2D? Yeah. Those of you online, mostly 2D or 3D?
Not getting answers.
It's just
That's
like
right.
class.
It'll take,
Just like being in
it
class.
might take some time.
Yeah, no worries. Don't be afraid to answer my questions. All right. So that's probably actually roughly sums up the student cohort. We get a lot of 2D students. We're going to constantly be talking about VFX to those of you who are in 2D because that's where the jobs are. Really, Adelaide is a studio town. We've got RSP, we've got MPC, we've got resin, and we do find that people are really wanting VFX. We will always say choose your own path, but just a heads up, 2D, and I don't think Shane and certainly Simon aren't going to disagree with me that 2D is really competitive and it's a bit harder to find work there. So we'll just remind you of that. It's a sad but true fact of life. Having said that, our students end up all kinds of places, not just in studios, but also RSPCA, social media. Our students end up everywhere. So don't worry overly much, especially not at second year. How good is this degree? Well, you can see I've been testing my links. It's not that I've got this open 3 times. It's just I was testing my links while I was waiting. There is an international competition called the Rookies, which is an art competition. You may have heard of it or not. But basically, it's where animation and effects students from all over the world, 524 schools, 91 countries, they just put out the finalists. And so just so you're wondering if we're any good, Singapore, US, Spain, oh, Flinders CDW. He only put CDW, he didn't put Flinders, but it's fine. He's a first year, so I forgive him. And then let's see, US, China, oh, Flinders Uni, CDW, UK, US, And I think we've probably got one or two more in here, don't we? But you can see globally, oh, that's us. And you look at the schools that we're up against, they're the big ones. So we're pretty proud. If you do go through this, you'll notice that we are in the finals in concept art. I think we've got 2 finalists in the concept art. In fact, the very first in the hello, yeah. And it's pretty good to be up against Bellacore, Calais, New Edge, Noman. It's a pretty big deal to be up batting with these other schools. And the judges for this are all industry standard. For us, industry standard is something you're going to hear a lot. And for me, the thing to notice here is just don't feel like because Adelaide is small, you can't be awesome. It feels like Adelaide bats way above its league in art. And it's true. So don't worry that because we're in Adelaide, that you're not sort of competitive on a global scale, because you are. Anyways, feel free to flip through these at some time and have a look. If you look at the WETA finalists, there's a ton of us students from here up for the WETA internship, as well as you would expect, and for a couple of other things. To get started, you're going to find that everything that we do in VEED, now I can't promise some of the other disciplines. So if you've got to pick up something that's core, like say comms, I can't necessarily speak for stuff that doesn't start with VEED, but any topic that starts with VEED, it's us and it's CDW Studios, right? So you always look for that VEED prefix. When you look at your template, you'll see it's there. Everything that we do is hybrid. That is, you can attend online or in person. That's really important in a time of COVID, that if someone doesn't feel well, we don't want you to feel pressure to come in. At the same time, a lot of students disconnect if it's online only. So just know that we tend to be hybrid. We tend to be both. We use a system called Flinders Learning Online. It really works best with Chrome. So that's why I have Chrome here as a browser. You'll find if you're going to share your screen or something, and it's going to be hard for all of you because everyone else knows what they're doing, right? All the other students have been sharing their screen for a semester and they've been attending the chats, like they're all used to this. So we really recommend Chrome. You're going to need a good internet connection. You're going to need a microphone, because every now and then we'll ask you something, and especially if your work is being critiqued, you might want to respond. You're going to need transport. So CDW Studios by Adelaide, weird mileage. It's 1 million miles away. It's what, like 20-minute drive. By normal city mileage, that's nothing. It's just Adelaide makes it seem like it's 1 million miles away. There is a train. So right near the Meyer Center, you can catch the city station. There is a train that comes up to Flinders and back. So that's a reasonable way. Just know roughly in your head, like how you're going to get between the different campuses and work it out. Parking is expensive, unfortunately. You can do short-term parking at Flinders. We've got an app, I hope they talked to you about that, called Cello Park. It's just an app, and you put in like $4 and you get to park for the day. CDW, it doesn't, because it's in the Meyer Center. Just again, think about where you're going to park. There's all the parking for the Adelaide Uni students around. It's cheaper, for example, down along the Torrens. So just give yourself a bit of thought about how you're going to get back and forth. So give yourself some time. You're going to need to know your FAN and your password. Your FAN is that thing that starts with the first 4 letters of your last name. You're going to use that to log into your online system. You're going to use your FAN and your password a lot. So I recommend maybe just writing them down and having them with you. I know you're not meant to write down passwords, but it's a pain to forget. Really know your timetable. And when I say that, I mean, don't just know the times, know where is it? Are you at Flinders? Are you at CDW? We try for you not to move back and forth during the day, but some days you will. For what it's worth, we do it too. I think I've got 2 days this semester where I go back and forth as well. I'd say give yourself at least an hour to get door to door. By the time you park, drive, reverse out, traffic, South Road, give yourself an hour. It'll usually take less, but I'd always give yourself that. And I'm going to show you our online learning in just a minute. Now, the way the degree works is that every semester, has Amy given you this template?
I was emailed that.
All right,
Yeah, there are some waiting at the front desk, so you can grab them.
that's
on the way
these.
out.
Oh, cool.
Oh, Katie's already grabbed
Here's some we prepared earlier.
them.
And those of you online, I'm about to show the handbook. All right, so just grab one of those. Basically, this is your bingo sheet. When you tick all of the boxes, you graduate. You're done, right? And the ones that you've got kind of, each year, you've got semester 1 and semester 2. And you'll notice that you've got kind of 3 columns here that are core. And then this 4th one, you've got kind of some ORs. Now, because you're mid-semester, we're trying to make sure that you're not going to end up with quite so many electives because you're going to be hitting the topics that you missed first semester in your electives, just for the beginning. And what that means is that when you get to the end of 3rd year, you've got all these options and electives, which just makes it easier for you to graduate mid-year as opposed to the end of the year. So just keep a little bit of an eye on this. And as you're enrolling, you want to make sure that all the blue ones are ticked. This plan here still sees you going through in 3 years. So when you look at the template, yours is going to look a little bit different because you've started mid-semester and because you've got all these first-year topics kind of lining up in your. And it doesn't mean you can't move things around a little bit, but just this way, it'll work. And there are some topics where if you say, oh, I'll do that next year, you could throw your completion out by a semester or a year. Let's say it's something that's only offered semester 2, you could end up going, oh no, I've got another whole year to go. So come to talk to me or Annie about this. So what you should be enrolled in now is VEED 1003, Essential Multimedia. VEED 1401, Digital Fundamentals 2, VEED 1403, Digital Principles, and then either 1410 or 1411. Those of you who are interested in 3D or VFX would maybe expect you to be in 1410, which is more VFX oriented. Those of you who like 2D, probably 1411, that's me and Simon. This is a really weird one because it's 6 weeks up here and 6 weeks at CDW Studios. A weird model, but that's how we split our topics. We do it all kinds of different ways. You could also.
Sorry, can I just interrupt just really quickly? Online folks, you obviously can't see the template that Katie's showing, but that will be emailed out to you. Some folks have said it's already come to them, so just keep an eye out for that.
You've also got your online handbook right here. So if you just go onto the Flinders site and you look up VEED handbook, you're going to find this. And your VEED handbook, if you go under your program of study, year 1, 36 units, expand all, say core, comms 1400, familiar codes, that's these. These are just laid out in a way that's much easier to read than that. So it's the same information. Now, basically what you're going to find is that you're going to tend to have 3 core topics per semester. And then you're going to have some options. And the way that your 3 core topics work is you've got one that's 100% at Flinders. Why? Sorry, I could have sworn I said open all. So you're going to have your 1 for 27 units. Anyways. Okay, so you're going to have one that's called boot camp. Now, your boot camp topic is your 1400, your 1401, 2400, 2401 3,400, 3,401, notice pattern there, right? So first year starts with 1, second year starts with 2, third year starts with 3. If the second number is 4, it's usually a CDW or a CDW crossover. So 1,400, 1,403, they're CDWs. Boot camp is always going to have 2 sessions per week. Now, I don't coordinate boot camp, so I can only see last semester's boot camp, but in a way this is useful. I just want to show you what boot camp looks like. Now, boot camp is really specific, very, very intensive, building up your core skills as an artist topic. And basically, the timetable can be a little bit confusing because the way that boot camp looks, sorry, normally I can see all my topics.
Oh, because you're in progress, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
To go back in time.
Yes, back in time to last semester. I want 1,400. All right. So this is what the topic for boot camp looks like. Now, something that you're going to be noticing when you go into boot camp is it looks like there's a couple sessions per week. If you go to the timetable, there are a couple sessions per week. So you're going to find it's going to run like a Tuesday and a Thursday, or a Monday and a Wednesday. Now, if you're in 3D or VFX, you're going to be working on big projects the whole semester that might span those 2 topics. If you're in 2D, you're going to find that you might have one of them is, say, figure drawing, where you've got live models in every week and you're working on your anatomy, because you have to have good anatomy. It's just, you have to have it as an artist. And then you'll find your other session might be working on fundamentals like perspective. So you're all going to have 2 sessions. You attend both. You will have probably selected a stream. Now, something that you will have noticed is that if you've been at another uni, when you look at the timetable, all the workshops are exactly the same. So there might be 14 workshops, they're all identical. They're just at different times and maybe have different tutors. When you're looking at the CDW Studios topics, we do what's called differentiated learning. That is, in the same topic code, one group of people can be doing 3D and one group of people can be doing 2D. And one group of people could be doing ZBrush, which is digital sculpting. So you really need to pay attention when you sign up for your workshop. Have you signed up for a 2D or a 3D? Don't just sign up by the time. Have a look. What is it? Because they're different. Did you all notice that when you signed up? Yeah, excellent, good, because it's an uncommon thing. Every now and then people are like, oh, I needed to do 2D. You'll also notice we have some topics at night, evening classes. That's because our instructors work. They have a day job. They're in industry. So sometimes they can only teach, and we've got a couple instructors from America who beam in. So the hours, it has to be at night, because that's the only time that they can make it. So just double check that. What you'll find in Flow is usually there'll be a thing at the top. Now this is first semester boot camp. I just want you to know what you've missed. All the other students did 3 weeks of animation, 3 weeks of 2D, and 3 weeks of figure drawing. So they've just done a little sample pack. Everyone didn't like everything. So that's what you've missed. You haven't missed 12 weeks of something. You've missed bits. So don't panic that you're permanently behind. You may decide at the end of this year that actually you want to loop back and pick this up. We're assuming you want to keep moving. So that's why we've got you doing 1411 or 1410. we're swapping that out instead of this boot camp. But you could still loop back and do this if you wanted, but we're assuming you don't want to add that extra semester. Otherwise, it's going to really blow your timing out. So what's going to happen is you're going to have, say, a series of seminars. And when you look in Flow, there's going to be an outline. It's going to give you some naming conventions. There'll be some Discord servers. There'll be some groups. And there'll often be a link, right? So here you've got your reference materials. Here's your influence map template. There'll be videos. So really go deep in Flow for your topics. Have a good look and see what's in them. Because we've got all of these different topics running, because we might have 2D and 3D, they're each going to have their own section where there's a lot of information. Does that make any sense? Otherwise, if we do it kind of by week, it gets too confusing because we could have 5 different topics sharing that week. Yeah, good. All right, and then what you're going to find is under your communication hub, you might have some attendance because of COVID. We tend to keep attendance just because it's good to know who is in the room. And what you're going to find is that you're going to be asked to do a forum. Now, what happens with your forum is that basically we're going to ask you to upload your projects, but we're also going to ask you to upload your work every week. You're going to make a thread in Flow. You're going to make a discussion with your name as the name of the thread. I can't remember where it is. Is it under workshop? Sorry, these are all done in
There you go, there's one.
Where? Here we go. Yeah. So here we go. Just as I said, under seminar 1. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Homework for boot camp. See how many unread posts there are?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's not just that I'm lazy and I'm not reading posts. This isn't my topic. This is because what happens is, so let's say a student, let me find you one who's got a lot of posts, right? So let's look at, say, let's look at Kai, right? Okay, so here's his homework. He was told to put up an influence map. He's put up an influence map. Here's a couple of his figure drawings. Here's him doing some color practice from film stills. Here's some character sculpts. There's some of the feedback that he's getting. Here's one of his character sketches. So basically, every week, you upload your work to the forum. I know a lot of students, when they first come, are really shy about uploading their work. Don't be. You saw how many posts there were. People don't have time to go through you're so busy on your own work. But what this means is that when you're getting feedback in class, if you're not there, everyone's work is already up here in the forum, and to give you feedback, the instructor just clicks on your name and your work is here already. And there's none of this sharing your screen, and it's already here. And it just makes it really efficient for feedback. It also means that, let's say that you get sick and you go missing for 2 weeks. We can see that you're okay and you're up to date because your work is here. If there's nothing here, we go, uh-oh, the student isn't engaged and we can't see their work. So put your work up every week, and it's also, I think, useful. And for you as this being your first semester, it's going to be hard for you to press submit the first time because people are always nervous about sharing their work. Don't be. You saw there's thousands of posts and everyone's at different levels and everyone has their own path. So just make sure you put your work up every week. And that means that when the instructor says, do you want feedback? You go, yes, I do want feedback. And my work is here. Because your instructors at CDW are industry, they tend not to be available quite so much after hours. So this is your flow here. I've just realized it's an hour already. How did that
No, it's not
happen?
an hour. We've still got 31 minutes.
Thank goodness. I was going to say that was the fast. Oh, thank goodness. No, you're right. We didn't start at 12. I was going to go, how did that happen? I know I pressed play and I talked for an hour. V2003. This is another of your core ones. This is with me. This is Multimedia Essentials. This is a really different kind of topic. This is a more traditional uni topic. Notice it has 1003, not 14 anything, right? The reason I opened this for you is I just want you to notice that it says here, no workshops run in week 1. You'll find it's fairly common for the uni topics for the workshops not to run in week 1. Just because people can move around in topics for 2 weeks, you can't cover too much, and then people get lost, and it just ends up being a complete schmozzle. Plus, not everyone has understood the assignments by then because of the way timetabling goes. So often in week 1, we'll do a lecture. So I recommend that you hit the flow. And for this one, you can see here, right? Monday, 2 to 3, humanities. We're in humanities now. North 1. Or in Collaborate. So that means you can attend in either online or face-to-face. Up to you. The reason we've got that, there are 246 people in this topic. That's a lot. No one wants to sit in a room with 246 people for an hour at the moment. But when we do the Emperor's New Groove, you should come in because it looks great on the big screen. Way better than in Collaborate. But to start with, so just go through Flow and have a look and, read this, like, does it run? What time is it? Where am I supposed to be going? Just really map yourself out for next week and really check on Flow. The CDW ones tend to all be on. So they're probably running, but your uni ones, check them. This one, lecture, yes. Workshop, no. Start in week 2. And this is where I put all the different workshops and the name of them. I tend to name them. You'll find you'll have a communication hub. And then ours, you can see here, we'll put in week 2, what's in week 2, and the lecture notes are there. When I talk about something being in Collaborate, this is something that you're really going to need to get across. This is how you access your classes. These don't exist yet because we haven't started yet, but you'll find you'll just come here, you'll link on your session. It's a live link that will take you in. So if you're ever online, wanting to attend online, all of it is in Collaborate. Just click that link and it will take you there.
Folks who are online, much less complex than the system we're in right now. It's a really kind of pared back version of what we're looking at. So.
And I've got a link here that is the guide. So if you're wanting to learn more about Collaborate, if you're unsure about it, like how do you share your screen? How does it work? Where are the recordings? There's a link to the guide right there. So you can watch that. And here, we tend to be recorded. Different lecturers feel differently about the chat. I don't mind a bit of chat while I'm talking. It's fine. The screen just kind of blurbs along on the right. Some of the other lecturers really don't like it. So just be mindful. So have a good look through Flow. It's broken up kind of logically. You've got your assessment hub where you upload things, and it's got your week by week. Right? Week 1, it's a 12-week term. Week 1, week 2, week 3. Good. So you'll be spending tons of time in Flow. You know if you're enrolled in a topic or not because the topic is going to appear in your Flow, right? So right now, when you look at your Flow, there's going to be some of this academic integrity stuff, various things they want you to take. And then you should start seeing topics that look like this. Now, VED first year topics, yellow. 1 stripe, boot camp. 2 stripes, CDW workshop, Flinders lecture. 3 stripes, it's a combo, Flinders and CDW. This is that weird 6 and 6-1 I was talking about. 4 stripes, Flinders only. So you'll notice that there's a couple codes just to help keep things simple for you. Now, I just mentioned like that one of these had a quiz and one was boot camp. How does all of this work? Your boot camp, as I mentioned, is your core skills one, twice a week at CDW Studios, no lecture, hard, hard, hard. That's where most of your hours are gonna go. Some of our other topics are what we call balancing topics. You got a bit less work so that you can do all that work without getting RSI and having to spend all your time on it. So you've got your boot camp, which is 2 sessions a week. You're always going to have one, which is your CDW workshop, your Flinders lecture. Your lecture can be attended online or in person. We always have a quiz in these. There's always a quiz. How do you know what you're going to be graded on in something? You're going to find us talking about something called the SAM form. Every topic has a SAM form. The SAM form is your statement of assessment methods. This tells you what are you going to be graded on. This one, you're going to have a quiz in week 11 during the lecture time on the lecture content. You're going to have a checkpoint in weeks 1 through 6 where we're going to look at your forum where you've been uploading all your work. You're going to get a provisional grade based on that. Provisional means that at the end of the year, we look at your work again. We might bump it up. Let's say you've had COVID and you're a little bit behind, but you know you're going to make it up during the break. We'll revisit that grade when you present. So week 1 through 6, you can see here, week 6, 40% of your grade. We're going to be looking at your work in your thread. Here you can see week 12. We're going to look at that last 6 weeks of your work. That's going to be worth 45% of your grade. Same form's got your learning outcomes where we assess it. Yeah. But if you're wondering what work you have to do on a topic, we will always say, look at the same form, right? We don't take, I didn't know there was a quiz as an excuse, right? It's here. We'll go through these in week 1. I'll go through the one in 1003 until you're sick of me talking about it. But this is something that's super useful for you. Get your calendars out, be aware of these, because this is what you're graded on, the percentages and the date, and every topic has a SAM form. All right, I have gone so far off my slides. I'm still on slide 2. Yeah, I reckon I'm pretty good. I reckon I'm there. Now, because we're nice, we have actually on the CDW site, you won't be surprised to hear this, it's easier for them to update their website than it is for a university to update their website. So what you'll find is that you're going to tend to have information available at both Flinders and CDW. So on this, the additional resources on this CDW page right here, this is if you're interested in 3D or 2D or VFX or animation. What we've done here is that we've made just recommended. So here's the template. And here's what we recommend that you take as your workshops. So doesn't mean you have to. You might want to mix up 2D and 3D. Totally fine. It's your journey. But if you're wanting to focus on one of these areas, these are what we recommend that you take. So this is just here to help you make your path. And there's like couple little descriptions here. And you'll notice that some of these, like Shane's got a topic called digital games that runs non-semester. It's not in your template. Your template topics are kind of easy because you have to take them, and we've given you the code. You just have to pick the workshop. But your option elective, which is this column here, which is where you get to pick, that's where we've made recommendations here, like you might want to take digital games if you're interested in getting into games. Good. So these are up here in the CDW site. This PDF that I'm looking at right now, at the moment, it's in 1003 because I don't have access to boot camp, but Shane does. This is going to be up in boot camp. This PDF will just be called second semester orientation. You can access these slides.
Can I ask? So you were saying obviously you can pick and choose with your electives in terms of stream stuff. Presumably those sort of second, third years, say you've been doing 2D and then you take a 3D elective, I assume you need to have a fairly high level of knowledge to keep up at that point.
Well, here's the thing. Those option topics, we assume people are going to dip in and out of those. That's where someone who is second year says, I might want to do 3D.
Yeah.
That's the topic where you can do it.
Yeah.
Are there going to be some 3D fanatics who are just going to just be ridiculously talented and way ahead? Yes. But there'll also be a whole bunch of people who aren't as familiar. And that's what those option topics are about, is that's your chance to duck out and try something else like ZBrush, sculpting.
The boot camps, if you went 2D boot camp, and then tried 3D boot camp,
Bad
it's going to
move.
be a bad move, yes.
Yeah.
But the electives, as Katie said, really give you the chance to try something
Yeah.
because we want people to be so well-rounded. That's the big benefit.
And stuff like our 2D animators, you can't do 2D animation topics. You're going to get RSI. It's bad for you to do that much a week of one thing. So we actually like people to mix it up a little bit. Your 3D movements, really different than your 2D movements. So we encourage that. And also sometimes people don't realize they love something until second year. We do get students pivot. So obviously if we really want people to pick up VFX and 3D, we're not going to say if you didn't choose it semester 1 of first year, thou shalt not pass. It's going to be, and just like 3D students love to come over and do character. Yes, I'm going to spend a semester doing character design. So here's a stream-specific information. Annie Taverner is the queen of template advice. Come to me at any time. You guys are mid-semester. If your template's always going to be different, just come and see me, email me, call me, email Annie, talk to Simon, talk to Jazz. We all want you to find the right path for you. So really don't be afraid to ask questions.
You don't have to remember all of this because you've got lots of folks that you can talk to.
Yeah.
But I think probably just a quick little bit of advice for everyone is don't just hold back. Just ask the question.
Yeah.
Literally, there are no silly questions.
Yeah.
This is really complex.
You're not going to be able to find threads, right? They're going to say, make your thread, and everyone around you is going to be making their thread, and you'll be going, where was it? Even Katie couldn't find it during the demo. Like, where am I supposed to make my thread? Just ask someone next to you, ask Jazz at the front desk. Just ask. Because a lot of your instructors won't have had all the students in the class. They're not going to recognize you as being first semester. That's why I've written this thing, so people are going to assume you know about SAM forms, the statement of assessment methods that I just showed you. People are going to assume that you understand Flinders Flow, the learning system. They're going to think that you know how to make a thread. Everyone's going to assume you're across your timetable and locations. Everyone's going to assume you know software. You're kind of across things. Not to be on your phone in class. I just only put that there because every now and then we get people on their phone in live drawing. If there's a nude model in the class, can anyone see an issue with having your phone out? Yep, so just take your cues from the people around you a little bit. Again, some instructors aren't gonna mind. There's a lot of kind of student Discord rooms. People are Discording away during class. Some people don't care. Some of us get a little paranoid and say, cut that out. Do it after class, not during class. Things to remember, it's going to be confusing. Ask your small and big questions. Ask them often. We don't care if you ask 20 times. It's fine, totally fine. Don't judge your work by the person sitting next to you. And don't do it. What we tend to find is often the people who travel the furthest are the people who have the furthest to travel. So there are people who come in for 3 years and they leave because they've been doing this like mad beans in first year. They're just way ahead of everyone else. But of course, the better you are at anything, the harder it is to move incrementally forwards. And some of you, first year to third year, wouldn't even think it was possible to travel that far. So be kind to yourself. Don't freak yourself out looking at the people around you. Everyone's different.
Just remember that the person that you look at their work and you go, oh, they're a first year, but they may have already done another degree. They might have been doing this in their bedroom for
out
the
in
last 10
industry.
years. They
Yeah.
might have been in industry. We get people returning from
Yeah.
industry.
We've had architects come in and do environment design. And it's like, why are their buildings so good? Well, they were an architect.
Yeah.
That's why. We strive for a really respectful culture. Be kind, be open-minded. Yeah. CDW instructors are only instructors in the classroom. Go to class for your feedback. Don't bail them up if they're working in the studio on their animation. You can't go on the studio floor to ask them something. Yeah. You have 2 campuses. I've said you have 2. You've got more than 2. You might have 3 or 4 campuses. And when I say use them, Flinders is a really traditional campus. We've got a tavern. We've got a fantastic counseling service, which is free to students. It's Medicare. We've got sports teams. We're really good at ultimate frisbee for some reason here at Flinders. So we've got a great gym that's pretty cheap. So there's all the stuff that you would expect from a uni is here. You've seen the campus. It's massive. If any of you are taking 1411, I'm going to have to meet you in front of our classroom downstairs because our other classroom that we're going to go to is so far away. It's on the other side of the lake, and I don't expect anyone to be able to find it, right? So got the big library. We got it's 24-hour campus. Your card is going to give you access to that big student hub 24/7. There's a kitchen in there. Like, use this. You've also got CDWs and studios in the city. That's more kind of table-based. They're expecting you to bring your laptop in. We have computers here, but CDW, you got to bring your laptop. They're really different feeling campuses. They're both yours. Use the facilities of both.
We've got a question here about device requirements. I've said we'll get onto that in a couple of minutes.
And again, if you feel find yourself, I mean, sometimes when I'm in the pocket, I got a new kitten. If you'd given me a chance of delivering this virtually and staying at home with my kitten, nothing personal, but 100%, I would have gone online so that I could be playing with my kitten while I'm talking to all of you the first time. The thing to do with the online, make sure you come sometimes. Make sure you come, because we do find that people who attend only online, it's really easy to drift off, to sleep in, to miss the class. And when you're getting feedback on your art, we do so much body language. It's really good to see the expression of the person giving you feedback. Because some people are kind of abrupt. Doesn't mean they're mad. They're just abrupt people. It's just how they are. So come face to face when you can. We do tend to find the students who come get better grades. Having said that, some people are overseas, they can't come, but attend the collaborate, the live recording. Don't just count on the recordings.
Yes, I'm seeing the people who are online here.
Yeah.
Who are now going, but wait, I'm interstate.
Yeah, no.
Like
That's totally fine, but attend the live collaborate session, right? Attend live, face to face or online.
Yeah.
Don't do everything by recordings. And also, you want to meet your classmates. These are your contacts for the future. And people miss out on meeting each other if you only attend online. So I really recommend mix it up. Sometimes petrol is going to be too expensive.
The online system we use, Collaborate, that Katie was talking about before, is really collaborative.
Yeah.
There is totally the pun intended there. It's really useful to be in there, hit the chat. We don't make people turn their webcams on, but jumping on the mic, having a chat to your fellow students, getting feedback. It doesn't really, it's not going to disadvantage you if you're not turning up. But I agree with Katie. I think it's going to, it
Except,
will give you an advantage if you
excuse
turn
me for swearing, I'm about to swear, a very minor swear word, but I'm gonna do it. The compression is shit, right? The compression is the worst. So if you're watching something with clips, it is gonna, so the VFX, where Jason's trying to show stuff and do clips, at the time we'll just put a link in Collaborate and you click on it to watch. Outside, the compression is super annoying when you're streaming.
It basically comes down to what your internet connection is.
Yeah.
So if you know that you've got a rough internet connection, that's a good reason maybe to try and make it on campus as much as possible.
Here's the email you're all getting from Jazz today. If you don't already have it, you might already have it, saying, come to CDW, come meet people. We'll be there. Simon will be there. This is a chance to meet some of your CDW instructors. It's at CDW Studios level 4, the Meyer Center, Rundle Mall. It's really weird. So it's a little bit like Hogwarts. You can only take the left elevator. So take the elevator that's towards King William Street, not the other one. So if you're down there, if you're looking at Daiso, if you're in the basement, you're in the correct one. And you hit level 4, and level 4 says staff only, but you don't care. You just hit it like a boss and you go.
Yeah, because the elevator I was in, it just says like not open to
Yeah,
the
not
public.
yet.
Yeah, that's right.
And I
So,
was trying to get up
yeah,
just to look at it.
and it won't let you. So you gotta be in the right elevator.
Okay.
And you'll see there's VED students. You'll recognize the VED students, right? You'll
Yeah.
see other VED students getting in the elevator. So it's like Spotlight side, Toy World side. It's
Okay.
the King William Street side. Go up the lift, step out on the 4th floor. The lift can take 5 minutes. And there's not really any other way up. So again, this is what I mean about just give yourself a bit of time. Because when I know this from being almost late for lectures and I'm standing there, my blood pressure is raising. And I'm just waiting for an elevator, right? There's no point in affecting your own health for an elevator. So give yourself a bit of time. You go up to the 4th floor, you'll know it's right. You're gonna see big TV screens that say CDW Studios. You'll walk through the glass door. Jasmine and Ray are at that front desk right there. They're super helpful. So if you don't know what room you're in, you'll find the rooms are named things like the Temple of Doom, which is great, but they're not really informative in terms of where is the Temple of Doom in relation to, at least here it's 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, right? That's, when you're in the proximity, but they'll tell you what room you're in. So just get a little sense. Half of it is the classrooms, part of it is the studio. It'll be clear to you which is where. Yeah.
It's much easier to find the classrooms there than it is here.
Yeah.
Because there is no lake in the middle of CDW.
Yeah, and they're not all courtyards.
Yeah.
Just strung together on a mountainous.
Okay, we got 8 minutes.
Good, right? So we recommend that you come here on Friday. This is pretty casual. This is time to ask questions. I will have assumed that most people will have attended this session. So I'm not going to deliver these slides again. But if you say something like, oh, I looked at my timetable, where is this room? I don't know what campus I'm meant to be on. That's a really good time to come with your questions.
It gives you the chance to meet everyone as well.
So this Friday at 2, we'll be up there, just casual. But you can walk around. Again, if you got your timetable and you know your rooms, you'll be able to orient yourself before you get there next week. By the way, H130, where you've got 1003, it's just downstairs, like 4th door on the right. Yeah.
Easy one.
Easy one. At CDW Studios, they're just big empty tables like this. They expect you, or thinner. So they expect you to have a laptop. All got PowerPoints, but they expect you to have a laptop. Here you've got 24-hour access to a lab with computers. Well, you've got like 4 labs with computers. So you can come up here if you're doing something in After Effects. You don't have to bring your computer if you don't want to. It depends how you work. Yeah. But at CDW, got to have your laptop because that's what they're expecting. And I think they all start in week 1 and they're all online or face-to-face. Again, check flow. If your instructors in the US, they're not going to be face-to-face. Doesn't mean you can't go in and sit in the classroom. it gets live streamed into the classroom if that's the case. But we're going to talk about computers in a minute. Lots of students use Wacom tablets. We do have a couple you can check out at the desk, but people use little tiny ones. Don't lug around some gigantic Cintiq. Simon's left-handed. He can't stand the big ones. You know, he much prefers the little ones. So, and the classrooms are on the western side. Before Monday, check your topics on flow, lecture and workshop. Are they running? Where should you be? Work out your times to get places in person. I would say week 1, aim to get there 30 minutes early. So what if you're the first person in the classroom? That's fine. You'll need to park. You're going to get lost. The elevator is going to take forever. All of this is going to happen. You're not going to be able to find Humanities or CDW studios. And here's another thing. If you're late, we'd always rather that you came in. So if you're 20 minutes late, just calm yourself and go in. Don't stand outside the door going, oh, it's already started. And if your instructor is having a bad day, they might go, but you know, everyone does that. It's fine. We'd always rather come that you're late. Bring your laptop, bring your mask. It says here we need to wear them at all times due to COVID. That's kind of, I think you'll find if you're in a super busy room and everyone's close, wear your masks, right? I just bring them just in case. They'll let you know. Every now and then the uni will mandate that we have to wear them. So this is left over from when it was mandated. It's not mandated right now. We will always err on the side of safety. If you have questions, ask them. There's us again. And did any of you have any questions?
Hang on, do you want me to talk about the computer stuff first?
Yes.
Just really quickly, because that is one of the questions online. We often get the question, what computer do I need? So if I need to get a laptop, what do I need? As Katie said, there are nice fast machines down in the labs with all of the software on it. As far as laptops go, my advice is, and this can be an ongoing discussion if you need some extra info, but my advice is go PC rather than Mac. All of the software runs on PCs well.
If you have a Mac, don't worry, it's fine,
don't panic.
right?
I'll come to that. I'll come to that in a second.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll come to that in a second. So we find that it's much easier for people to get a PC-based system at a good price. If you've got a Mac, it's totally fine. All of the software will run on it, but you just may run into some weird issues. And at that stage, we'll just deal with it. The students who have been working on Macs for ages, a lot of it comes down to the specs of the Mac. Macintoshes have some very strange foibles when it comes to the way they use memory and things like that. So yeah, don't panic. If you've already done that, it's totally fine.
It's almost like saying you should get a dog, not a cat. And all the cat people are like, what? Yeah.
And this is not just coming from me, this is coming from Simon. And Simon loves using Macs.
He does, he uses Macs at home.
Now, here's the good news.
Yeah.
What kind of laptop is best? Just a good gaming laptop. It's like there is no special magic super card that you need to do any of the software that we're using. Obviously, the more powerful your computer is, the easier it's going to be, the bigger your scenes can be. Those of you who are 3D know this. Memory, get as much RAM as you possibly can, and then make sure you've got a pretty big hard drive. Every now and then a student will say to me, my computer's going really, really slow. And I say, is the hard drive full? Yep. Is it your Steam library? Yep. Try and give yourself plenty of room. Software-wise, we're going to demo in certain types of software. We're going to demo in ZBrush and Photoshop and After Effects and Maya and Blender.
And Illustrator.
Yeah, and Illustrator and a million other pieces of software. You don't always have to use that same software. So for instance, in character design, if someone's talking about just creating characters, if you're in Procreate on an iPad Pro, That's totally fine. That's what I would be using. I've got a pretty good computer set up, but I tend to use my iPad a lot if I'm just drawing. So don't panic. All of the software is either free, like Blender, or there are student versions. For those in 3D, Maya, 3D Studio Max, all of that sort of stuff, you actually get free licenses for the entire length of the degree. So any of the Autodesk software, that's thousands of dollars worth of software.
Can I get to those if I'm in the 2D?
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're a student.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just
Everyone can download it.
Yeah, it's just
Cool.
a device.
Yep.
And you'll find if you're in the 2D stream, you'll be bumping into 3D
Yeah.
stuff.
You
It's
Blender.
Blender.
Simon loves
Yeah.
Blender. So increasingly people make things in 3D and then use that as reference for the 2D.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so software-wise, you're going to have to just kind of ask questions once again. Is it all right if I use this? As I said, we'll demo often in a piece of software to demo the concept, but it can be achieved in other software.
Just be aware if you ask a question, if you say I'm using Procreate and I'm having this problem, the instructor or
They might
tutor,
not be
the
able to
lecturer
answer.
will just go, I'm sorry, I'm demoing
Right,
in
yeah.
something else, right? But that doesn't mean you can't chuck it up in the question. If you put the question and collaborate, there's a good chance one of your classmates is gonna know the answer.
Okay, I just got a warning. We've got 1 minute. So questions?
On that laptop, what are we actually using the laptops for? Are we plugging them in at the studios?
Yeah.
Into a graphics
Don't
tablet?
don't worry about
They're-
any
the
power
studio
stuff.
is
You
just a
plug it
table.
in.
No, it's not. I have a desktop. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering, do I just need a cheap laptop to take notes
I
on?
would do that. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Take your cheap laptop, do what you can, but then you're going to go home onto your brutally fast desktop and
Yeah.
actually do
Yeah.
work. That's absolutely a path that lots of the students will take.
Yeah. But it is, so we're plugging our laptops into, say, a graphics tablet. at
No,
the
just
studio,
literally
Yeah.
just plugging it
Just for
in.
knowing.
Yeah,
Some people are going to be working directly on their laptop. Some of the students don't have a desktop at all. They just have a good laptop.
Yeah.
It's literally the desks there are a desk with plugs.
I guess, sorry, otherwise what I'm thinking is, like, can I bring in an iPad? Which
Yeah.
obviously can't get software, but I
Yeah.
don't need to be plugging it into a graphics
Yeah.
tablet.
No. Just realise that means that you're going to have to then go home and do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
which is totally
that's-
fine.
yeah.
A lot of people are more
Yeah.
comfortable with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just checking if there's any other questions online as well. for
I've
you
got one,
guys.
I
Go
got
for
a
it.
face-to-face,
Yep.
yeah.
I have a question. So I enrolled for the VEED 1003. I was on the wait list for a while. I was at number 1 and then they cut off the wait list.
Just come to whatever one you want.
Oh, I actually got a call from Jasmine about that yesterday. She said she's trying to sort that out and she'll talk to
Yeah,
us on
because they're
Friday.
all filled.
No, just come to them.
Just
Just
come to them,
It's
just
all
don't,
right.
just
Yeah.
don't worry.
It's me.
Yep.
It's
So
me.
I don't
Come
have to
whatever
worry
one you
about
want.
it actually being enrolled onto my timetable. I
No,
can show up.
because what's gonna happen is, we're gonna ask people to make their threads, right? So I'll say, okay, everyone, in Wednesday workshop, make your online thread, which is the thing you respond to.
And then you're just.
And then you're just gonna say, yeah, Wednesday, my thread is here. I am in this
Okay.
class. Yep,
So if it's technically not,
it's okay for me.
Enroll.
So if you look, the person you ask about a topic is a topic coordinator. If you look at 1003, I'm the coordinator. If I say it's okay, it's okay.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I was very worried.
Yeah, no,
I
don't
was
worry.
like, it was absolutely packed. I
Yeah,
cannot get it in.
I wasn't, see, I offer it both semesters, but in the template, they put it for all of you second semester. It's meant to be that people can take it either semester and it divvies up the numbers. So I wasn't ready for a topic with 250, no one's ready for the Spanish Inquisition. That's a lot of people to teach After Effects
Okay.
and stuff too. And you're gonna find 1003 is easy. It's essential multimedia. You'll pick stuff up from it, but
That's not
it's
just
fine.
VEED, folks. That's
That's everyone. It's
right.
creative writers, it's the filmmakers, but it's a good chance to meet people out of your degree. And there'll be some new stuff and there'll be some stuff where you go, I totally know this. So you might find that that's one where you attend from home until we get into After Effects and then you start coming in. Yeah.
Okay, just looking at the time, we're over. Folks online, this is your last chance to just quickly drop a question into the chat. Folks in here, we can absolutely keep chatting.
Okay.
That's totally fine.
Okay.
But folks online, are there any last questions?
Have you got your email from Jasmine? About-
I have weirdly not really been getting emails to even my school email. Like I did not even get the enrollment thing for O week. I had to have someone tell me.
Just check that there's not a clutter folder or a spam folder.
I've checked.
I get
It's
all mine
really,
on the
really-
Flinders email.
Yeah.
I don't get them to
Yeah.
my personal.
I don't get them to my personal, and I
No,
don't
you-
get them to my Flinders. I've only gotten like ping student news stuff.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Well, mid-semester's kind of crickets.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not,
It
we're
might
a
not
big
be.
group of mid-semester. A lot of topics don't have anyone. A lot of degrees might have one. Yep, so don't worry too much, but if you don't get Jasmine's, let me know.
There was, I got a CDW one, like at the top,
No,
there's,
I've
in,
not.
in the Outlook though, for your student email.
Yeah.
There's focused and then there's this little button
Yeah,
that says
it's
other,
yeah.
and you gotta click that, and I had a few of the CDW ones.
Have you got your
stuck
laptop
into
with you
there.
today?
No, and my phone unfortunately doesn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's all right.
Alright.
Okay, Mason, I think we're
This-
right. I can't
This
see
is
any
gonna
other
be in boot camp
questions.
1401, so the email is in
Thank you
there,
for your
right?
help.
You saw it pasted in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so Shane, I'll put that up in there today.
Folks online, I think we're about to go dark, so we'll see you on,
See you next week.
yeah, see you next week.